What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And I have some breaking news to report, and this is just in as I'm recording this video. In a mixed verdict, jurors in Sean Diddy Combs' federal criminal trial acquitted him of the most serious charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking, but did find him guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs could receive a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. The maximum is 10 for each of the transportation convictions. If he had been convicted of any of the other counts, the 55-year-old could have faced up to life in prison. Before he was let out of the courtroom by marshals, Sean Diddy Combs knelt down in front of his chair and bowed his head like he was praying. When he stood up, Combs faced the gallery and clapped, prompting the gallery to clap and cheer. Combs' attorney all exchanged hugs as the gallery continued to cheer for them. Combs faced his family, his face beaming. He said, "Thank you. Love you, Mom. I love you. I love you. I love you." His family and friends erupted in applause. Some family members wiped tears from their eyes. After Combs left the courtroom, the family section started chanting "Dream Team" to the lawyers who slapped each other on the back and embraced. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos hugged members of Combs' family with tears rolling down her cheeks. The defense attorney said to the judge, "Mr. Combs has been given his life by this jury." Defense attorney Mark Agnafilo said Combs would be nothing short of a fool if he violated any conditions set by the court if he was released. He treasures, I assure you, the opportunity that he has been given, and he will not run afoul of anything this court imposes on him. Judge Aaron Subramanian asked the defense attorneys and prosecutors to submit letters of their positions about the possibility of releasing Sean Diddy Combs. The letters are due by 1 p.m. today. The judge will make a decision afterwards. And, in my opinion, this is a victory for men in this country, in particular straight men, and the most vulnerable, of course, are black men. Um, I, look, I'm not trying to say that Diddy is a good man. We've seen some of the things that he's done. He's a reprehensible human being. But then at the same time, we just had an election where 77 million people voted for a person who, according to all evidence out there, is also a reprehensible human being. This is the same man, according to court records, beat his ex-wife mercilessly because she recommended a plastic surgeon that, in his opinion, did a botched surgery as far as his hair is concerned. Right? I think the plastic surgeon did a surgery where they try to get rid of your bald spot, where they cut out the hair in the back part and pull the hair back. Well, for some reason, Trump didn't like the result of the hair, the hair transplant, and he beat his wife. Blacked her eye. But hey, nobody labels him a wife beater. So, and there are many, many other examples. I just gave the most prominent one. So at the end of the day, just because Diddy is a reprehensible human being in many ways does not mean that he should be guilty of charges because you don't like him. That's not how this works in this country. It doesn't work like this. It's not a banana republic. It's supposed to be the United States of America. And we're already deteriorating as a nation as much as it is anyway, based upon the regime that's in power. And when you look at the laws that they're trying to put in place and the freedoms and the privileges, as you want to put it, that we've had for so many decades and centuries, or at least decades from some of us, they're trying to take back. And look, to get to the meat of the coconut here, what I'm trying to say is, if you're charged with something, it's the job of the prosecution or the law to prove that you're guilty of what you're being charged with. Just because you're being charged with something doesn't mean you've done it just because you don't like the person. And, I've tried my best to stay away from talking about this particular case because I think this is only the third time I've been emotionally invested in one of these high profile cases. The other two were the O.J. Simpson trial, and the second one was the situation involving, what's his name? The young boy that was taken out by George. I can't think of the name right now. I'm blanking. The boy that was killed by George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin. Those are the other two that I got emotionally invested in. And this one would have been bad. It would have been real bad if Diddy was convicted on the worst counts. It's not really about Diddy per se. Although he, as a black man, that still pains me. I don't like to see any black person knowing the history of this country and how many black men have been wrongfully convicted, and people don't want to think of it, but wrongfully executed. Just like that Missouri brother from a couple of years ago, might have been last year or 2023. The evidence strongly suggests that Missouri executed an innocent man. So, no, when you look at the history of this country, I'm always going to be empathetic with a black man who's in a situation where he's been overcharged, um, ran through the coals. The media was over 9-1 against Diddy. And at the end of the day, he's evaded the worst charges. Now, I know that the articles are saying that, and the news are saying he still served 20 years in prison. I doubt that. I think at the very most, at the worst case scenario, I give it 5 years, but I think it'll be more 2 to 3 years. Um, like I said, man, this is a victory for us men, man, because they're out, they're out for us, man. They're out for us. This was a witch hunt against Diddy. I think he just ran afoul of the worst people. Um, you know what I'm saying? They tried to throw the book at him, you know what I'm saying? And also, this is also a media witch hunt against uh, black men. Um, there are a lot of people out there that have egg on their faces because they try to do the most they could to convince people and to convince that jury that this was the worst man in the world. And I think the jurors kind of saw what the prosecution was doing. This jury was a lot smarter than people gave him credit for. They tried to make it out, oh, this guy's so bad. He's a horrible human being. So convict him on all these charges because he's bad. But that's not how it works. You convict him on if you're trying to charge him with beating Cassie, being a wife beater, or you're trying to charge him with the trafficking thing or the Mann Act, okay, fine. But the other stuff, that was poppycock. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.